Hey friends, we all are aware of the fast spreading of fake news that acts like a disease on different social media platforms. For example, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, YouTube, TV channels, and websites. Better say, today fake news is everywhere. It wakes up with us. It comes to our dreams. It walks with us. In the other hand, we spare it. We sell it. We exchange it. We discuss about it. We beat about it. And much more. Today, me and my colleague, Luan, we will be telling you the 10 most famous fake news stories which you may have heard about, but you are not really sure if it's a fake news or in the opposite, a real news. So please be careful and stay cool. Our video will help you when you are tomorrow in a conversation and someone mentions one of the fake news we showed in the video. Then you can shine just like a sun with your new knowledge. Number 10. Lion mutilates 42 midgets in Cambodian ring fight. Let me say, midget is a nasty term. I am not supposed to say it, but it was a headline. It's a part of the story, but we apologize. So let me tell you how it starts. A fan publicly challenged the president of the CMFL, otherwise known as a Cambodian Midgets Fighting League, claiming one lion could defeat his entire league of 42 fighters. The story mentions that this fight took place in Colosseum. It took the lion only 12 minutes to kill 28 fighters, and therefore the fight was interrupted. The other 14 fighters suffered severe injuries, including broken bones and so on, but the lion was still alive. Lion wins. Later on the internet, from the guy who posted it, he apologized and said, "I did this because I was trying to settle an argument that I was having with a friend." He said that he thought 14 unarmed little people could defeat one lion in hypothetical fight. So, in order to settle the dispute, he made a fake news story to show him that he was wrong. So he tried to fool one guy. He ended up fooling the whole world. Number 9. Sea monster attacks Tokyo. On May 29, 1947, the Tokyo Armed Forces radio station WVTR cut off a disturbing news broadcast. A 20-foot sea monster had emerged from the water of Tokyo Bay and was making its way downtown to derail trains and smash buildings. The audience was advised to barricade themselves indoors and to keep the telephone lines free for emergency calls. An announcer identified as CPL Jim Carnahan of Chicago, who provided a one-off report on the battle. Later on, he confessed that he wanted to congratulate the Armed Forces radio station on its 5th commemoration.
Number 8. FBI agent involved in Clinton email leaks dies in murder-suicide. Secret services. A topic where many conspiracy theories are about because of the mystical aura surrounding them. And so is this one. In the late 2016, a news was spread that an FBI agent first shot his wife, then set his home on fire, and then shot himself. Regarding to the news page, the FBI agent was involved in the FBI email leaks of Hillary Clinton and felt probably guilty for this. The news was first published on the Denver Guardian website on the 5th of November in 2016. This news could be identified as fake news because, according to the Denver Guardian, this all happened in Walkerville, and the police chief from Walkerville was interviewed by the Denver Guardian. The problem is that there is no town or village called Walkerville. There is a place called Walkersville, but it has no police office and therefore also no police chief. Denver Guardian was later also identified as a fake news website.
Number 7. iPhone Wizards target of Wave. Microwave charging hoax. In 2014, there was a new iPhone 8 ad. That thing made waves on the internet. Actually, it was a product called Wave. And this thing looked legit. It said, now you can wave charge your iPhone by placing it within a household microwave for a minute and a half. Sounds good, isn't it? Microwave charge. How is that possible? In 2014, this spread through social media outlines like a real news story, but it was originated as a hoax on 4chan website. But a lot of people started tweeting, posting, snapping, sharing videos on YouTube about trying it. Here's one of them. So guys, as you have seen, it was just a fake news. Number 6. Planet Nibiru destroy Earth. The story began in 1976 when Zachariah Sitchin wrote The 12th Planet, a book that was Sitchin's unique translation of Sumerian cuneiform to identify a planet, Nibiru. According to the book, it revolves around the sun every 3,600 years. A few years later, Nancy Lieder, a self-described clairvoyant, notified that 2003 would be our last final year on the Earth. Therefore, the other planet has been found called Nibiru. This planet will collide with Earth in 2003. So, luckily, it hasn't happened in 2003. Later on, as it has not happened, they changed the date to 2012. In 2012, people were really involved with anxious. For example, they made themselves a big, strong ball till they would survive when the other planet hit up our planet. However, it was just a fake news. That's why we are still alive, and now I am recording an audio clip for you guys.
Number 5. Israeli Defense Minister. If Pakistan sends ground troops into Syria on any pretext, we will destroy this country with a nuclear attack. This was the headline of an article posted on the site AWD News. Some fake news are actually funny stories or absurd theories, but this one was a good example why fake news can also be very dangerous. Even though the article sounded fake, the defense minister of Pakistan not only read the article but believed it too. As a response to this news article, he wrote a Twitter post where he said that Pakistan is a nuclear state too. On the next day, the Defense Ministry of Israel responded and said that the Israeli defense minister never said something like this. The danger behind it was that Israel and Pakistan had a really complicated relationship at this time, and the danger of a real nuclear war wasn't far away. Some newspapers said that Pakistan's Twitter statement is a nuclear threat and because of this, the defense minister backed up and said that they only have nuclear weapons in order to protect our freedom. This settled the tight atmosphere between Pakistan and Israel a little bit again.
Number 4. Corona's bioweapon. Who made COVID-19? Who are its makers? Who is behind it? Does 5G play any roles in this case? And what about Bill Gates, the Microsoft owner? Since the pandemic is around, we all have been in touch with this news. GreatGameIndian.com is an Indian website. They sell themselves as a journal on geopolitics and international relations. They start with origins of the coronavirus. The article was called Coronavirus Bioweapon: How China Stole Coronavirus from Canada and Weaponized It. With this kind of propaganda, the website became very popular. Even so, normally they only reach 30k to 50k clicks in a month. The article claims that 2 Chinese spies smuggled the virus from a lab in Winnipeg to a military lab in Wuhan, where the virus leaked out and began infecting people. Sure, they received a lot of comments, but Great Game India never responded. The real answer is no, of course not. But the provocative headline calls on readers to click and read and share later the link's conspiracy theory that concludes that Chinese spies stole the virus from the Canadian military lab.
Number 3. Obama signs executive order banning the Pledge of Allegiance in schools nationwide. The Pledge of Allegiance is really important to America, and even small children learn the Pledge of Allegiance in their early years. For those of you who don't know what the Pledge of Allegiance is, it is read as follows. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The news that Obama signs an executive order that bans the Pledge of Allegiance in schools was therefore shocking many of the American citizens. Regarding to the news article, Obama said that the pledge is divisive and contrary to America's deepest held values. The news was first released on a site that looked like ABC News, but if one looked more precise on the website, it was not the real ABC website, but a fake one. Nevertheless, the news spread far across the internet because of social media and people who share such content without looking if it could be fake or not. The news spread especially on Facebook, where it had more than 2 million Facebook engagements. Number 2. Pope Francis endorses Trump. This fake news story was first released by the fake news website WTOE5 News, again in 2016. The news article carried the sensational headline, Pope Francis shocks world, endorses Donald Trump for president, releases statement. The news article contained a statement which was allegedly said by the Pope. It ends with the following sentence. For this primary reason, I ask, not as the Holy Father, but as a concerned citizen of the world, that Americans vote for Donald Trump for President of the United States. In reality, Pope Francis never said such a thing, but the news spread quickly because of social media, and many people believed it without checking the accuracy of the news site. Ironically, the Pope indeed said indirectly something about Trump. The thing is, he didn't endorse him, but said that anyone who wants to build a border wall was not a Christian, which is the direct opposite of the fake news claim. The fake news wasn't without effect, however. Some people actually thought of Trump as a better person after this. And finally, the number 1, Pizzagate. The whole American elite except for Trump is entangled into a pedophile sex ring? Trump is the good guy? Sounds ridiculous? Then you're on the right track, because it doesn't just sound ridiculous, it is ridiculous and everything is just a fake news story. Still, millions of people believed in the story, even though it is definitely absurd. The reason that so many people believed the fake news was because they were convinced that they just uncovered the greatest world conspiracy of all time. And conspiracies need to be absurd, don't they? Besides that, it is confirmed that Pizzagate isn't true. But let's get back to the roots and talk about what actually happened and what the conspiracy theory is about. The theory first appeared, of course how it could be otherwise, again in 2016, also caused from the US elections. The theory was made by internet trolls who wanted to save the face of Donald Trump and made Trump the person who fights against the pedophile sex ring. They searched through the emails of American politicians that were leaked by WikiLeaks and claimed that they found code words, like for example that hot dog means a little boy and cheese pizza stands for child pornography. Furthermore, the back room of a pizza restaurant in Washington DC called Comet Ping Pong should be the center of this ring and was, for example, used to kidnap children. On the 4th of December in 2016, a man was even arrested because he entered the restaurant with an assault rifle in the belief he will find the pedophile sex ring. Beyond that, the theory was relatively fast classified as a conspiracy theory, and that should have been it for Pizzagate. But then TikTok, Facebook, Reddit and other social media platforms came and brought Pizzagate back to life. But the conspiracy theory changed a little bit. It leaves the Trump story connected to the US elections and sets the focus to other famous people, like for example Justin Bieber as a victim or Bill Gates as a new target. This social media hype made the conspiracy theory to one of the famous in the world. Sadly, but true. This conspiracy theory is still spread far around the world, even though it has been claimed as fake news. Now, let's talk about how we experienced working with this kind of stories, better said fake news, without much pre-information about it. No matter if you are using social media or not, you will always be told about this fresh fake news. Most of them also sound very real. That is what blends our eyes. We should be aware that these stories or headlines are really faked by someone else for a particular purpose, which you don't always know. Nowadays, people have more knowledge. They are completely aware of what is really going on. It's also because of the borderless technology. We really had not so much knowledge about fake news, but through this project we are now really experienced because we read many stories and headlines about our topic fake news. One interesting aspect we noticed during our research was that a lot of famous fake news, also a lot of them in this video, arose in 2016, most of them due to the US election. This massive emergence of fake news at the US election showed us that it is really important to double check news about not just the US election, but elections in general, as they are a popular target for fake news. Elections are often very important political decisions, which can change a lot in a country, so you should always be aware of that if you are reading news regarding to elections. One problem we faced was that it was really hard to decide what to take in our video and on the other hand what to not take into our video. Some of what we did not take into our video were indeed also quite important. But we are afraid everything has a border somehow at some points, so has the size of our video as well. Therefore we want to end this video now with a last request to you, our listener. If you're coming across absurd sounding news or news that could have a big influence in, for example, political decisions, always check for the source. and question what you are reading before believing it and maybe even spreading it. This is your contribution in the fight against fake news, which gets more and more important with the rise of the digitalization that gives people more abilities to fake things. With these words, we want to say goodbye and thank you for watching our video.